Brilliance Audio.
A Harvest of Secrets by Roland Merullo. Performed by Will Damron. For Peggy Moss and John Beebe. And when ye reap the harvest of your land, thou shalt not wholly reap the corners of thy field, neither shalt thou gather the gleanings of thy harvest. And thou shalt not glean thy vineyard, neither shalt thou gather every grape of thy vineyard. Thou shalt leave them for the poor and stranger. Leviticus chapter 19, verses 9 through 10. 1. July 1943. It was late on a warm and humid Saturday afternoon, midsummer, and Vittoria SanAntonio was walking the paths of the elaborate flower gardens her late mother had planted. From time to time she'd stop and snip the stem of a rose, dahlia, poppy, or bluebell, and slip the delicate treasure into the porcelain vase she carried. Each bright blossom seemed to correspond to one part of the jumble of feelings inside her. Most immediate, a splash of blood red, was her trepidation about the impending war. Her father and his wealthy friends, the house servants and barn workers, her own acquaintances in Montepulciano, everyone was saying that an Allied assault was imminent, though no one seemed to know exactly when or where the Americani would make landfall on Italian soil. Connected to that, vibrant orange in her mind, were thoughts of her lover, Carlo, called to military service with several of the other vineyard workers. She had no idea where he might be. Greece, Albania, Russia? Mussolini had sent his forces far afield, and she knew it was entirely possible that Carlo was no longer even alive. For a short while after he'd been pulled away to military service, she'd thought she was with child, and in spite of the shame that would have brought her and the destruction of what was left of her relationship with her father, his daughter made pregnant by a simple worker, she'd hoped it was true. But no, that was not to be. Not yet, at least. Not yet. Behind the fear of war and the whole body and whole spirit ache for Carlo's touch and words stood a background of speckled blue, a longing for her late mother, gone 11 months, that never seemed to ease. Vittoria sensed now, from scraps of recalled conversation, that beneath her disguise as an obedient wife and Central Italian socialite, her mother had been a keeper of secrets. Vittoria was almost sure the secrets were linked to political activity, and that her mother had been about to reveal them to her only daughter. On her sickbed, near the very end, her mother had opened her eyes and said, "Quello che devi sapere, carissima," what you have to know, dearest one, and then lapsed into unconsciousness again. Vittoria heard a burst of laughter fly out through the open barn door. She turned her eyes in that direction and saw old Paolo, the vineyard foreman, tossing an armful of hay to the mule in its corral. Her brother, Enrico, was there beside his elderly friend, working in happy imitation. In the distance, she thought she heard the rumble of Allied bombers, heading for the factories and rail yards of the north. She felt a few hard drops of rain splash against her cheeks. The vase was full. Her interior world was still a colorful mess, so different from the neat rows of vines and the manor house's perfect ochre stucco, the image her father liked to present of a famous estate in perfect working order, a famous family without blemish or trouble. The rain began to fall harder. She heard the sound of an automobile gliding into the courtyard. Massimo's car. Her mysterious godfather, come for a weekend visit. She hurried across the patio toward the shelter of home. 2. Shortly before first light, old Paolo left his bedroom on the second floor of the main barn, retrieved his shotgun from the smaller
Sample complete. Ready to continue?